Welcome back to Aria's Diaries. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're curled up in bed, on a long drive, or just taking a quiet moment for yourself, this is your space. A space for stories. When we left off, a project, a set of scratches, and a single word. Virgin had cracked the solid wall between Elena and Jaxon. Tonight's story is about what happens after the crack forms. When new people enter the picture, old wounds reopen, and the line between enemy and something else becomes impossible to ignore. So get comfortable. Let the story continue. The days after the project meeting passed in a blur of simmering anger and forced normalcy. I avoided Jaxon in the halls, ate lunch with Maya and Chloe like nothing had happened, and tried to forget the way he'd looked at me on his deck. That Saturday was Liam's birthday, Chloe's new maybe boyfriend. And, of course, we were going. The invite had spread through the whole senior class. It was at his massive house on the other side of the town. We got ready at my place. Chloe was glowing, talking nonstop about Liam. Maya was her usual upbeat self. And me? I put on a cheetah print dress, something I'd never normally wear, but Chloe insisted we all go bold. Black heels, gold jewelry. I looked in the mirror and saw a girl playing a part. The party was already roaring when we arrived. Music pulsed through the walls. It was bigger, louder, more intense than the kickoff party. More people I didn't know. We found Liam, wished him happy birthday. He was sweet, his arm immediately going around Chloe's waist. And then he turned to the guy next to him. "Oh, this is Mateo. He just transferred in this semester." I looked up, and there he was, Mateo. He had a different vibe entirely, not like the guys at our school. He was taller, with a quiet intensity in his eyes, like he was observing everything without needing to be part of it. He was strikingly handsome, in a way that felt sophisticated. Not like high school at all. "Nice to meet you all," he said, his voice calm, steady. Chloe and Liam drifted away almost immediately, lost in each other. Maya spotted some friends and followed. And then it was just me and Mateo, standing awkwardly in the middle of the swirling party. "Do you want to head outside?" he asked. "It's a little less overwhelming." "Yes," I said, relieved. "Please." We found a quieter spot on the patio, sitting on a stone bench away from the main crowd. "So," he said, "tell me something about you." I gave him the basics. "Elena, 17, dance team, hates school. Best friends are Maya and Chloe." He nodded. "We have one thing in common. I hate school too." He looked out at the dark yard. "I mostly go because my parents have this whole college plan mapped out. Sometimes I feel like I'm just living for other people, you know?" The honesty surprised me. "All the time," I whispered. He looked back at me, his gaze focused. "You never said why you hate school so much." I hesitated, but there was something about him. His calm, his directness. That made me want to tell the truth. Or maybe it was just because he was ridiculously good looking. I need to stop that. "It's this guy," I started, and then it all spilled out. Jaxon. The history, the project, the party, the drink thrown in my face. I told him everything, watching his face for judgment, but he just listened. When I finished, he let out a low breath. "Sheesh, that guy sounds like a genuine jerk." "He is," I said, feeling oddly lighter for having said it all aloud. And, as if summoned by the universe's cruel sense of timing, the patio door slid open. There was Jaxon, with Sierra on his arm, and her friends trailing behind like a bad smell. Sierra's eyes landed on me and Mateo, and her face lit up with malicious delight. "Oh my God, is this Elena with a boy? I've never seen her with a guy before." Her friends tittered. Jackson's eyes flicked from me to Mateo, his expression unreadable. "Yeah," Jaxon said, that familiar mocking lilt in his voice. "Are you two dating? That would be a surprise." Something bold and reckless rose in me. I looked right at Sierra. "Are you even dating, Sierra?" Because I saw Jaxon kissing another girl in the hallway the other day. The air on the patio went dead silent. Sierra's smile vanished. Her face went pale, then flushed red. "You bitch! Jaxon would never cheat on me. He told me that himself." I stood up, feeling a power I'd never felt before. "Are you really that stupid? I'm not even going to argue with you. It's like arguing with a child." As I moved to walk past them, back into the house, Jaxon stepped directly in my path. And before I could process what was happening, he picked up a half-full cup of punch from a nearby table and splashed it directly in my face. The cold red liquid soaked my hair, dripped down my neck into my dress. "Oh, what the hell is your problem?" I shouted, wiping my eyes. "Hey, man," Mateo said, stepping forward, his calm voice now edged with steel. "Stop being a jerk." Jaxon turned his glare on him. "Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?" I stood there dripping, watching them size each other up. And I'll admit, a small secret part of me felt a thrill. Watching a guy actually stand up for me. It was so foreign, so attractive. Maya and Chloe appeared then, drawn by the commotion. "Why are you all wet? Who did this?" Chloe demanded. I pointed at Jaxon, who was still glaring at Mateo. "God, you really need to grow up, Jaxon," Maya snapped. "Like, literally, what is your issue?" Chloe added. They each took one of my arms and guided me away, back into the loud safety of the house, leaving Jaxon and Mateo in a silent, tense standoff on the patio. In the bathroom, as they helped me towel off, something in me broke again. But this time, it wasn't anger, it was frustration. "Please," I said, my voice tight. "I'm not a child. If you two were right there, you wouldn't have to ask me what happened." "Elena, we're sorry," Chloe said quickly. "I was with Liam, and Maya was with her friends, and I don't even know why I come to these parties." I cut her off, the words tumbling out. "If all you ever do is leave me to go be with a guy." The moment the words left my mouth, I regretted them. I saw the hurt flash in Chloe's eyes. "Well," she said, her voice quiet and sharp, "it's not our fault you don't have a boyfriend." The words landed like a slap. I looked at her, then at Maya, the betrayal a fresh new wound on top of all the old ones. "You know what?" I said, my voice trembling. "Find your own ride home. I'm going." I walked out of the bathroom, tears burning my eyes, fighting with everything I had not to let them fall. Let me pause here and tell you what I learned later. Because that night, after I left, Jaxon had a story of his own. He'd driven Sierra home after the fight. Her parents were out of town. They went to her room. And for Jaxon, it was the same routine. A way to blow off steam, a distraction. He'd tell himself he wasn't a playboy, that every guy in high school was like this. At least he got tested. He wasn't just careless. But as he took his shirt off, Sierra froze. "What the hell is on your back?" What? What are you talking about? And Isanum? You have scratches on your back, Jaxon. Who have you been fucking? He tried to play it off. No one. Stop being crazy. So, was this what Elena was talking about? Hearing my name from her lips ignited something in him. Don't ever mention her name again, he said, his voice cold. Whatever she says is lies. You know what, Jaxon? Sierra said, her voice breaking. Just go. Please, just go. He didn't fight her. He grabbed his clothes, dressed, and left. He drove home, loud rock music blaring to drown out his thoughts. And as he pulled into his driveway, my car pulled into mine. He got out and walked straight over to me. Thanks a lot, you asshole, he said, his voice tight. Now my girlfriend thinks I'm cheating on her. You literally are, I shot back when. Now get the fuck out of my face before I call the cops. He smirked, stepping closer. You wouldn't. I held up my phone, my thumb over the call button. His hand shot out, grabbed it, and threw it into the road. A second later, a car sped by, crushing it under its tires. You dumbass! I screamed. And then, driven by pure, unadulterated fury, I kicked him. Hard. Right between the legs. He doubled over with a choked groan. You bitch! He gasped. I didn't wait. I walked into my house, a cold, satisfied laugh escaping my lips. For Jaxon, the night wasn't over. He finally stumbled inside, the pain radiating through him, only to be met by his father in the dark hallway. A smack! A hard, open-handed blow to his face. Where the hell have you been? It's midnight. You have a game tomorrow and you're out partying? It was my friend's birthday. I couldn't miss it. You're going to be nothing in life, his father roared, another smack following the words. You have people looking at you for scholarships, UCLA, Harvard, and you're wasting it. The abuse wasn't new. It had been his reality since middle school. His mother would just stand there and watch, which was almost worse. His older brother, Carter, had escaped to college, and Jaxon counted the days until he could do the same. Now get to your room. As he passed his mother in the hallway, she reached out, her fingers brushing his bruised cheek. Oh, honey, your face. He jerked away from her touch. Why does it matter? You don't give a damn anyway. I can't wait to get away from you both, just like Carter did. He saw the hurt in her eyes, but he was too angry, too numb to care. His father treated her the same way, verbally, sometimes physically. He cheated on her. And Jaxon hated that he saw parts of his father in himself. Not the violence, but the carelessness, the using people. It was in his genes, he'd tell himself. An excuse. He'd sleep with girls to forget, to feel something other than the simmering rage at home. He knew he should be honest with Sierra, but it didn't matter. He wasn't happy. She seemed to be. What was the big deal? It was just the playboy in him. He didn't think he'd ever find a girl he could settle down with. Maybe when he was 50. That's what he believed. Then, I didn't speak to Maya or Chloe for days. Jaxon had destroyed my phone, so I got a new one, but I ignored all their messages. Every time I replayed Chloe's words, "It's not our fault you don't have a boyfriend." The hurt reignited. It was Monday morning, and I was sitting alone at lunch, picking at my food, wrapped in a cocoon of my own misery. A tray slammed down on the table across from me. Sierra. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her face puffy. You bitch! You ruined me and Jaxon's relationship! I sighed. What are you talking about? You know exactly what you did. Sabrina, I advise you to move away from Elena before this gets serious. That was Maya's voice. She and Chloe were standing at the end of the table, a united front. My heart gave a fragile squeeze. "Please, nobody's scared of you," Sierra sneered. "Move," Maya said, her voice low and dangerous. "Maybe you should be looking for where Jaxon's at right now. I think I just saw his tongue down Madison's throat." Madison. Sierra's former best friend, before she ditched her for Jaxon's crowd. Sierra's face crumpled. She stormed off, stomping her feet like the child she was. And then it was just the three of us. The silence was heavy. Maya spoke first. "Okay, I'm going to be the first to say it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for always being with my friends at parties, knowing you're by yourself." Chloe's eyes filled with tears. "And me too. I'm so sorry for what I said. Me and Liam aren't even together. I shouldn't have treated one of my best friends like that." The wall around my heart crumbled. "I forgive you both," I said, a real smile touching my lips for the first time in days. "Honestly, and thanks for sticking up for me." Maya grinned. "Yeah, I was pretty scared shouting in the whole cafeteria, but anything for my besties." Later, at my locker at the end of the day, I was stuffing books into my bag when a shadow fell over me. It's Mateo. "Hey," he said. "Hi." I fidgeted with my lock, suddenly nervous. "I haven't seen you all day. Do we even have any classes together?" "Yeah, I'm just pretty quiet. You never seem to notice me." "Well, that's my bad. I sometimes go through the quiet girl phase." "Yeah, I know," he said, a small smile on his face. "I saw you at lunch arguing with that blonde girl. What happened anyway?" I shook my head. "It's a long story, and it's about Jaxon, and I hate talking about him, so I'm not gonna tell you what happened." "Well," he said, laughing softly, "that's all I needed to hear." He paused, then took a breath. I have a question." "Yeah, what is it?" "Would you like to go catch a movie Friday?" My brain short-circuited. The hottest, most intriguing guy at school was asking me out. Yes, I would love to." He smiled, a genuine bright smile that made my stomach flip. "Okay, I'll text you the details." "You don't have my number." "Right." He pulled out his phone and we exchanged numbers right there by the lockers. As he walked away, I leaned against the cool metal, a giddy, disbelieving laugh bubbling up in my chest. The week crawled by. Maya and Chloe were back to being my ride or dies, and they were obsessed with the Mateo development. Friday finally came. They came over to help me get ready, turning it into a full pre-date ritual. Maya did my makeup, a smoky eye that made my blue eyes look dramatic. Chloe styled my hair into perfect, bouncy curls. We went through half my closet before I settled on an outfit that looked good, but not like I was trying too hard. A text lit up my phone. 5 minutes away. My heart hammered against my ribs. He's here. "Have a good date, Elena," Maya sing-songed. "It's not a date," I called back, but I was smiling as I walked downstairs. I stepped outside and froze. Mateo was on a motorcycle. He took off his helmet, hopped off, and walked toward me. "You look good," he said, his eyes sweeping over me. "Like, really good." "Thank you," I managed. "You look good yourself." He smiled, noticing my fidgeting hands. "Here's a helmet for you." He got on first, and I climbed on behind him. "Hold on tight," he said. I wrapped my arms around his waist, my cheek resting against the back of his leather jacket. The engine roared to life and we were off. The speed was terrifying and thrilling. He must have felt me tense, because he reached back and gently stroked my hand. The gesture was so unexpectedly tender, My nerves melted away. We got to the theater, got our tickets and popcorn, and walked into the dark auditorium. And my blood ran cold. There, a few rows ahead, was Jaxon, with a girl from our school. A pretty brunette named Madison. He was with Madison. Mateo found seats. He put his arm around my shoulders. I tried to focus on the movie, some romantic drama about two lovers. But all I could feel was Jaxon's presence filling the room. Halfway through, Mateo leaned close, his breath warm on my ear. "Do you want to step outside for a moment?" I nodded. He took my hand and we slipped out into the cool night air. He lit a cigarette, offered me one. I declined. We sat on the curb, watching traffic. "Want a puff?" he asked. I shook my head. "I'm good." It was chilly. He noticed me shiver, took off his leather jacket, and draped it over my shoulders. "Oh, thank you, you didn't have to." "What?" "It's all right. I wanted to." We sat in a comfortable silence for a moment. "Thanks for taking me out," I said. "It's cool. You deserve it. Plus, beautiful girls deserve to get treated nicely." "Why are you treating me so nicely? It's rare any guy treats me nice." "That's because guys are jerks. Trust me, I've been friends with a ton of them. I know." I looked at him. "You're different?" "How different?" "I don't know. You just know how to be yourself without having to fit in. I like that." Our faces were inches apart. The streetlight caught in his dark eyes. "I like you," he said, the words simple and clear. "What do you mean by that?" "I like you, and he leaned in. But before our lips could meet, a voice cut through the moment like a knife. "So, what are you two now? Like a couple?" Jaxon. Leaning against the theater wall, his arms crossed, a cold smirk on his face. "How long have you been standing there?" I demanded. "Long enough to hear that he likes you, which is definitely a shocker." Mateo stood up, his jaw tight. "You know what? Let's go. I don't have time to listen to this guy." He handed me my helmet. "Let's go." He got on his bike, turned the key, pressed the ignition. Nothing. He tried again and again. "Fuck. No. What is it?" "It's not starting up." Jaxon pushed off the wall. "You know, I can just give you guys a ride home." "No," I said immediately. "God, no. You're the last person we're getting help from." But I saw the look on Mateo's face. He was considering it. 5 minutes later, after Mateo convinced me it was just a ride, we were in the passenger seats of Jaxon's car. I was horrified to see condom wrappers on the floor. At least clean up, I thought. He dropped Mateo off first. At his house, we got out. I turned to Mateo. "I know this was probably the worst date for you. I'm really sorry all of this happened." "No," he said, shaking his head. "Don't blame yourself. The only worst part was the car ride. Everything was perfect." He didn't let me finish. He kissed me. It was slow, passionate. His hand cradled the back of my head, his fingers tangling in my hair. It was my first real kiss, and for a moment the world disappeared. "Come the hell on or get a room. Choose one," Jaxon yelled from the car. I pulled away, flipping him off. Mateo and I smiled at each other, breathless. "I'll call you tomorrow," he said. "Be careful with that jerk." "I will. Good night." I got back into Jaxon's car. The ride was silent, tense. He drove fast, music off. "Where's your date?" I finally asked. "Home," he said, clipped. "Why are you so mad?" "Maybe because you're asking a lot of questions." "I've asked you one thing. You have anger issues." "Whatever you say, dumbass." A few minutes passed. "So," he said, his eyes on the road, "is he your boyfriend?" "What? Are you asking me questions now?" "Just answer." "No, he's not my boyfriend. We're just friends." "Oh, so if I was to kiss you right now, we would just be friends?" I looked at him, shocked by the boldness. "First of all, we are not friends in the first place, and two, your lips will never be on mine, like ever." He chuckled, saying something under his breath I chose not to hear. When he pulled into our driveways, I got out without a word, but as I walked to my door, he called out, "Hey!" I turned. "You look different," he said, his voice uncharacteristically quiet. "I don't give a shit how I look to you, Jaxon. Just good night." I went inside, my heart pounding for an entirely new set of reasons. When I got home, Maya and Chloe were waiting, demanding every detail. I told them everything. The motorcycle, the movie, Jaxon being there, the kiss, the car ride. They squealed at the kiss, groaned at Jackson's interference. "But did your lips end up on Mateo's lips, though?" Chloe asked with a grin. I covered my face, nodding. They erupted. "Was it bad?" Maya asked. "No," I said, smiling into my hands. "It was good, but I don't know if I was bad or not." "I'm sure you'll get more practice with him eventually," Chloe said, and we all dissolved into laughter. But as I lay in bed that night, my mind wasn't on Mateo's kiss, or his calm eyes, or his smooth voice. It was on Jackson's quiet, "You look different," in the dark driveway. On the intensity of his stare in the silent car. On the charged, unspoken thing that had hung in the air between us. Mateo was sweet, he was kind, he was everything I thought I wanted. But Jaxon was a storm, and I was starting to realize I'd spent my whole life living in the calm before it. I didn't know if I was ready for what came next. If you want to know what happens when the storm finally breaks, when jealousy, rumors, and a secret sketchbook change everything, you'll have to come back for part 3. Thank you for listening, for being part of this story with me. This is Aria wishing you a quiet night. Remember, the heart doesn't always choose who's good for it. Sometimes it chooses who changes it. Until next time,